And now you can go to the 8 and 9 benefit in this life of a person of faith, which are the benefit of being aware of Amida's benevolence and responding in gratitude to his virtues, and the benefit of constantly practicing great compassion.
Yes, Sensei. Will do. So
One more thing before you start. Robert, because you asked me if these meetings are only for those who want to receive ordination. No, they are not. They are for everybody. But so by going through all the 72 topics of examination, we also go through all the doctrines of our school. So it's beneficial for those who want to become ordained, but for everybody, for every lay person. So please go to the playlist that is called examination and watch all the videos. Okay. Okay, Kosho Sensei, please start.
Here in the book, continuing with the book, page 192, and remember that all of these benefits are explained at great length and detail in the Jodo Sensei's books, especially in this one. I think also in the commentary on the larger sutra, but here is as well in the meaning of faith and Nembutsu. So here we have two benefits explained in one section because they are interrelated. So the first is the benefit of being aware of Amida's benevolence and of responding in gratitude to his virtues. And ninth, the benefit of constantly practicing great compassion, you know. So basically, remember that faith in the primal vow gives us two kinds of awareness. These are the twofold profound conviction. First, that we're people of deep karmic limitations, incapable of attaining Buddhahood through our own power. And that equally true is that Amida Buddha can save us through his vow power without asking anything from us. You see? So basically, we recognize that we cannot attain Buddhahood in this life, that we have deep karmic limitations. Even we would be maybe falling into the lower realms if we didn't have Amida Buddha. And with Amida Buddha, he, without asking anything from us, any special states of mind, virtues of wisdom or meditation, he only asks us to say his name in faith, wishing to be born in his pure land, you know, and he can save us just as easily. You see? So, so remember that the repeated cycle of birth and death is not a matter of you know, superstition, all of that. Many Buddhists nowadays, they don't teach about samsara and karma because they don't want to scare people away, because they are interested in numbers. They are interested in having money or having prestige, but they don't care about speaking about the basic idea that Shakyamuni Buddha and all Buddhas come to the universe, to the samsaric universes, to save us from the cycle of death and birth in the 6 realms of samsaric existence. You see? So if we truly contemplate that, we will realize that it's very difficult to escape from this prison of the 6 realms of samsara. You see? And having understood that it's so difficult to escape from samsara, yes, and we have been trapped in samsara from times immemorial, you know, because it has no beginning, you see. Just imagine how many times we have tried to escape this place and we have failed, yes. And this is one of the most, in my opinion, this is one of the most chilling and striking teachings of Shinran Shonin. This is, of course, based in the sutras, but he is like straight to the point. He says, under the guidance of Buddhas who appeared in this world, 3 times the sons of the Ganges in number, we awakened the aspiration for supreme enlightenment, but our self-power failed and we continue to transmigrate. So in other words, there were many times in our past lives in which we tried to play the part of being good smiling Buddhist. we tried to practice the Dharma, but we failed miserably, you see. We could have even met good masters, bodhisattvas, you know. We found the Buddha Dharma, but however, we didn't practice enough, you know. And here we are again, you see. So samsara is old enough for the vast majority of sentient beings to have met the Dharma in past lives, you see. But what are we still here? You see, so the Buddhas are like teachers that go to very dangerous schools, and they were trying to teach us the Dharma, but we didn't pay attention to them, you know, or we tried to pay attention, but we didn't, take it into heart, you know, we didn't practice enough. So we continue to transmigrate in samsara. So this is incredible. So because the Buddhas have been trying to help us many times, but we didn't listen. Or we try to say, okay, you know, I will try to become a Buddha on my own self-power. And then we fell into the lower realms. And when we keep falling because our self-power failed us in the past. We try to become good meditators. We try to practice the precepts. But here we are again. Why? Because our self-power is not reliable. You know? It might be reliable in some special circumstances for very special people. You know, like these guys I'm talking about, like Kukai, like I don't know, Huineng or Bodhidharma, all of these great practitioners from the past. Maybe in their case, self-power was reliable because they were very determined. They were very virtuous and very like geniuses, spiritual geniuses. But for us, self-power is like trying to rely on quicksand or trying to rely on smoke. You know? It is worthless, you know. So Shinran Shonin says, were it not for the ship of Amida's vow, how could I cross the ocean of painful existence? With minds full of malice and cunning, like snakes and scorpions, we cannot accomplish good acts through self-power. And unless we entrust ourselves to Amida's directing of virtue, we will end without knowing shame or self-reproach. So, our minds as bamboos are constantly filled with malice, with cunning, even if we try to deny it. We are constantly thinking evil thoughts about other people, you know, like snakes and scorpions, you know. Shinran says, we cannot accomplish good acts through self-power. So all of our acts are stained by our ego. You know, all the so-called goodness that we think we have is actually stained with our egocentric ideas. So they cannot be called transcendental merits, you know? And only unless we entrust to Amida's directing of virtue. What does that mean? Amida's transcendental merits. The transcendental merits that Dharmakara Bodhisattva, before he became Amida Buddha, he amassed great riches, yes, of karmic merit. Transcendental merit that is the product of perfect, and I mean perfect with capital P, perfect Dharma practice. Yes, and this is what he's dedicating to us, this Dharma practice. So he crossed the path for us, you see? So this is very important for us to understand. This is why Amida's name and Amida's primal vow has so much power. It's because Amida Buddha, in the causal ground, when he was a Dharmakara Bodhisattva, yes, he accumulated a great vast of transcendental merits that are different from mundane merits, because transcendental merits are merits in terms of Dharma practice, perfect Dharma practice, capable of actually making us escape samsara, yes? Whereas all of the so-called goodness, even our most sincere and better versions of ourselves, or so-called good actions that we think we have made, are still mundane, in the sense that it is still down with the ego. It is still stained. It is still imperfect. So it is not capable of getting us out of samsara. It's like a rocket that doesn't have enough fuel, you know? It's like trying to, it's like in some text it said, it's like a child trying to throw an arrow to the sky, no? It will go and then, woo, it falls. But in the case of Amida Buddha, he has sufficient transcendental merit, so it's like a rocket. It has the necessary power to escape the gravitational pull of samsara. You know, that is why we have to trust Amida Buddha. Yes, because otherwise,
I would like to recommend you to read the article "False or Mundane Merits versus True or Supramundane Merits." You see, I will put a link into the description of this video. That's a very good article and useful article. And Kosho Sensei is also referring to this one.
Yes, okay. Actually, we have recommended this article, I think, several times in these videos, and we are going to do it again because we're talking about this article indirectly. Here in this, there is a great king talking to Bodhidharma, actually. And this king is very proud of himself. And he says, oh, look at all of these temples that I have made. Look at all of the money that I have given to the sangha. And then he says, do I have merit, master? And then Bodhidharma said, no, no merit at all. You see? So what Bodhidharma is referring to is that is not transcendental merit, even in doing all of these great things that this king made for Buddhism. Yes, because he is still doing it with an impure heart. He's doing it because he thinks he's important. Yes, because he wants people to praise him. You see. So in this sense, these are not transcendental merits. The merits that Amida Buddha is giving to us and that allows us to be born in the Pure Land are transcendental merits. You know, that is why we rely on the Nembutsu, which has all of these merits. And when we say it in faith, we enter into a special karmic connection with Amida Buddha that allows us to escape samsara. You see, it's like a transference of all of these merits to us, free of charge. So Amida Buddha is giving us this, okay? So we should always take into account that our merits have no power. Yes, no power. The only power that they have is to keep us trapped in samsara. But Amida's merits, yes, in his name, it has the power to save us if we say it in accordance with the 18th vow. Okay. So Shinran Shanin also said, beautiful passage from the passages on the Pure Land Way. He said, I'm reading from page 194. He says, hard to encounter, even in many lifetimes, is the decisive cause of birth in the Pure Land, Amida's universal vow. And hard to realize, even in myriads of kalpas, is pure Shinjin, that is true and real. If you should come to realize Shinjin, faith in Amida Buddha, rejoice at the conditions from the distant past that have brought it to you. Also, we feel the weight of the Buddha's compassionate benevolence. It is indeed difficult to repay it. No? So, in other words, the fact that we are now entrusting to Amida Buddha is due to the immense compassion, yes, of countless Buddhas in the past. Yes, I think that Yosho Sensei was referring to this when he was answering one of Robert's questions. You know, he said that when we go to the Pure Land, we will repay the kindness of all of the Buddhas on the 10 directions who have helped us in innumerable lifetimes, you know. So the fact that we are now entrusting to Amida Buddha is the work of Amida Buddha and all Buddhas in our past lives. And the fact that we also have some very good karma of being devotional towards the Buddhas in past lives. This is why we are now interested in the primal vow. As Reinyo Shonin and also as Shakyamuni Buddha and Shinran said in their writings, only through good from the past can we entrust ourselves to Amida Buddha. There are many people who hear about the primal vow, but very few are interested. Why is that? Because of lack of karmic good. That means they lacked devotion towards the Buddhas, and their karma is not ripe in this life. That doesn't mean that in future lives it won't be. You know, we hope that it is in future lives, but in our case, it is ripe in this life, and we should be really, really grateful and humble before the Buddhas, because they have worked countless lives so that they are teaching us, guiding us towards faith, teaching us that our self-power is not reliable, yes, teaching us that the power of the Buddhas is real, yes, and all of that, and all of that was greatly efficient and greatly, how can I say, it was like a great project of the Buddhas, the fact that we are now entrusting ourselves to the primal vow. Okay, so indeed, it is difficult to repay Amida Buddha's benevolence, you see. So it's not something that we can correspond. The only thing that we can do to be grateful for what we have received is to follow the teaching of Master Shinran. Receive Shinjin, receive faith in Amida Buddha, and make others receive faith. You see, this is the only thing that we can do. So the only way to repay this kindness is to say the Nembutsu of faith, of course. When we say Namo Amida Bu, yes, we are corresponding, yes, to this, and we are saying thank you, Amida Buddha. This is the only way that we can do, because what else can we do? Yes, we cannot repay Amida Buddha in the same way that, I mean, we cannot give him what he has given us, but we can thank him by saying thank you, yes. Thank you, Amida Buddha, saying Namo Amida Bu. Making other sentient beings hear the Nembutsu is also very good. You see, when I go to the street here, I live in a village with many dogs, and many insects. And I try to say the Nembutsu in my heart and also out loud as often as I can remember, you know. Namo Amida Buddha, Namo Amida Buddha. And then other beings might be interested in the sound of Amida Buddha's name. You know, Amida Buddha can use us as mirrors of his light to others. You know, we can also share, do the things that, for example, Hawkeye or Uncle Joshin is doing. You know, have a YouTube channel or a blog, you know, where we express our gratitude to Amida Buddha. You know, this has the power to influence other hearts, and Amida Buddha can use these methods. You know, our minds, our words, and our body to influence other sentient beings, you know, and make them closer, get closer to Amida Buddha's compassion. You see, so the Nembutsu of gratitude and spreading the true Amida Dharma are the ways that we express, practice great compassion, you see? So we correspond to Amida Buddha's gratitude in the Nembutsu of faith, and we practice great compassion by making other beings say the Nembutsu of faith, you see? And this is great compassion indeed. This is not the compassion of other Dharma schools, in which is based on self-power, and the degree of your compassion would be based on your advancement on the path, on how pure you are. No? So if you want to have transcendental compassion, let's say as a Zen practitioner, then you better be a great Zen master, you know, because otherwise your compassion would be meaningless. If you are not keeping the precepts, if you don't practice your sasen well, you know, or if you're a tantric practitioner and you don't follow your samayas, and you are not a guru yourself, then what is your compassion? Your compassion will be worthless because it's not transcendental. But in our case, even if we ourselves are stupid practitioners and we are evil beings, this compassion is effective because of Amida Buddha, and it will always be effective, you know, because the name of Amida Buddha does not belong to us. The same way that the foolish guy in the village, like the village idiot, even if he's an idiot, but if he has a miraculous medicine, then the medicine works. And if this idiot starts to give these hands out and starts to give this medicine away to people who need it, the medicine will be effective or ineffective. Yeah? If it's a great medicine, it will work. So in this case, this medicine is the primal vow. And even if Josho Sensei and myself and all of us are ordinary guys, and we most certainly are, yes, if we start to give this medicine, it will still be effective, yes, if we don't mix it with our own opinions. If we say the primal vow and we teach the Buddha Dharma exactly as it is in the sutras and in the teachings of our masters, then people will have an opportunity to receive faith in Amida Buddha. This is amazing. This is amazing because it means that Amida Buddha can use sentient beings, ordinary sentient beings, and include them in the work of his salvation, yes, for other beings.
People of faith are reflections of Amida's light, wherever they are, and no matter who they are. See?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. The other day, I received a question from a student that used to say to me, how can I spread the Buddha Dharma if people don't believe in me? You know, I have this karma that people don't pay attention to me, or people hate me. Yes, yeah, it doesn't matter because the primal vow is not effective because of your personality. It is effective because it has power. You just say the Nembutsu and make people realize the true Shinjin, quote the sacred text. Yeah? It's not about you. You know, it's about faith in Amida Buddha. You know?
But even if not all people, for example, not all people are have the patience of talking with others, or not all people have the time or the capacity to teach others. But by being an example of constant faith, they are already influencing others. Other people will see those ordinary guys who are constant in their faith. 1 year, 2 years, 10 years have passed, and they are still on the same path. And sooner or later, these other people around that person of faith might get curious and ask a question or two. And then you can help. Yes. But as I always say, even invisible beings who automatically read your mind see your devotion, they can also be influenced without words, without your need to talk and
Yes.
teach. That's
Yes.
very important. Yes.
Yes, indeed. We don't have to become monks or nuns. Sometimes people, like for example, I don't know, Yoshin or Hokai, they are not monks, but they are still wanting to influence others. So we don't have to be monks, nuns, or teachers. We can influence others just by being examples of faith, in this sense. And if we are constant in our faith and devotion throughout many decades, years, then people will see that we are serious. They will see that that we are not playing games. Yes, and they will be influenced by that. You see?
Even your ancestors that are still there in spirit form, in various forms. It is said in the Buddhist text that some ancestors are reborn in the same place where you live, like protective deities or protective spirits, and they will see you and see that you became a devotee of Amida Buddha, and they might be encouraged to also entrust to Amida Buddha. Also, if you harmed somebody and that person died, for example, in the case of people who are who are a cause for abortion, and I'm not here talking only about women, but also of men who encouraged women or forced women into abortion, or women who, because of various reasons, they did an abortion. By becoming a faithful, by having faith in Amida Buddha, those spirits that died because of their decision can have their mind turned towards Amida. And from revengeful spirits, they can become protectors, protective spirits, and devotees of Amida themselves. That's very important. Yes.
Yeah, sometimes we think that we haven't killed people in this life, or that we are also like, I'm not innocent of that, but
We
maybe
have
in
killed
past
many.
lives, in past lives, we have actually guilty of many crimes, you know.
But even if you are a vegetarian and you just drink tea like me and Joshin,
You are still,
that tea came from the suffering of many beings. Many beings died while that plant was harvested or taken care of. So there are many people, many beings died so that we can
yeah,
enjoy our life and benefits.
all of the things we do in this world, in this life and past lives, come from negative karma. So we are constantly in debt with other
Yes.
beings that come to look for payment for our wrong
Yes.
actions, you know. So it's very good that we say the Nebutsu,
Those
because
are called karmic debtors. Yes,
karmic
many people are karmic
debtors.
debtors.
Yes, that is the
Sometimes
technical
even
word.
your own child can be a karmic debtor, or you know, many beings that you killed or you caused suffering to, because you never know your action, what kind of suffering inflicted on others. You never know. We are we all think we are good and virtuous, but yeah.
We have lots of karmic debtors, and the beautiful news now is that we have something to give them now, and that is actually
Yes, we
good.
can turn those karmic debtors into beings who have faith in Amida Buddha and protectors and friends of ours.
Yes.
Yes.
So we don't try to exorcise them, but to bring them closer to us, no? As is stated in our liturgy, beautiful liturgy for bardo beings and spirits, and I highly encourage you to read that beautiful liturgy. Sometimes we practice it. I had the opportunity to practice it with Yosho Sensei in Amidaji. It's a very epic and beautiful liturgy in which we dedicate not our merits, but we try to Seiden and Butsu and give offerings of food to various spirits so that they create a connection with Amida Buddha. So it's a very good liturgy that you can practice for as many times as you want. It's very good, you see. Yes, as I was, I wanted to quote Master Shinran. He said in page 195, he says, let those who realize Shinjin, that is other power, in order to repay the Buddha's benevolence, spread the two aspects of Amida's direction of virtue throughout all of the 10 quarters, you see? So the two aspects of Amida directing of virtue is the aspect of going or going forth, and the aspect of returning. So that means that when we have faith in Amida Buddha, we are assured of going to the Pure Land, and when we go there, we return as enlightened beings to save everybody inside samsara. You see that? So what Shinran Shonin meant by saying this is that let those who have faith in Amida Buddha, that comes from the other power of Amida Buddha, in order to repay Amida, may they spread the message of the primal vow, which is Amida Buddha's direction of virtue, through all of the 10 quarters. That means that we should spread Amida Dharma to all beings that are interested in it, yes, by and trying to make them have faith. And when they receive faith in Amida Buddha, they receive the twofold direction of virtue. They will go to the Pure Land, and they themselves will become Buddhas, and they will spread the Dharma throughout all of the universe. You see? So to spread the two aspects of Amida's direction of virtue means to convince people of the truth that Amida can save them by bringing them to his Pure Land, where they attain Buddhahood or perfect enlightenment. And that once they become Buddhas in the Pure Land, they are able to return in various samsaric realms to guide others to the Pure Land. This is a very important message of our school, you see, that we try to make people understand that going to the Pure Land is not like escaping, like you escape to another good place and you have fun, and then you forget about samsara, We should make people understand that when you go to the Pure Land, you actually go there to return immediately to save all sentient beings. So all of your relatives, all of your kids, your pets, people you have met in past lives, you see? So when you go to the Pure Land, you will be of eternal service to others. We should stress this to people, because sometimes people want to help others, but they don't know how. Yes, but actually, if we tell them about the Pure Land, we should constantly emphasize that when you are born in the Pure Land, you will free yourself from suffering, but you will constantly be freeing others from suffering. So in that way, people might feel interest in Amida Dharma. You see, if we constantly emphasize this Mahayana concept of benefiting other sentient beings, which is inseparable from our school, because we are a school of the Mahayana. Yes, and the primal vow is actually the highest manifestation of the Mahayana spirit. Yes, of saving others. Yes, regardless of their spiritual capacities. I have other quote here, my master Shinran, in Gutoku's notes. He says, in page 196, he says, foolish beings of the lowest level, fettered by their karmic acts and blind passions, are transmigrating in the 5 evil curses, or for 100,000 myriads of kalpas. But suddenly, by hearing of the Pure Land, they awaken aspiration and seek to be born there. Note that such an encounter is rare, even in myriad of kalpas. In 1,000 lifetimes, a person might encounter the vow but once. From this day to the very end of time, wherever you are, give praise to the vow, and wherever you may go, encourage others to hear it. Okay, so this is the spirit of Jodo Shinshu, no? And actually, Shinran and Hone themselves were examples of that. They descended from Mount Hiei, yes, and they gave this teaching of the primal vow to everybody, to prostitutes, to farmers, to hunters, to the lowest of the low, and they didn't live an idle life, or a life of relaxation, or a life of being secluded. No, they actually went to the people. They used their own hands to give the Dharma to people who were untouchable, at that time, or people who were actually denied of the Dharma. So this is the attitude of Jodo Shinshu, which is to give the Dharma to everybody, you see, regardless of their spiritual capacities, because it doesn't have anything to do with our virtue or lack of virtue, you see. So it is the most difficult of difficulties for one to believe in the teaching of the Butsu and make others believe it, to transmit the great compassion of Amida Buddha to others, and to spread his teachings far and wide is the true repayment of the benevolence of Amida Buddha. So if we want to express our gratitude to Amida Buddha, then we should try to be, first of all, be examples of faith ourselves, you see, and then just by doing that, we are going to influence Amida Buddha, even if we don't want to become monks or nuns or lay teachers. Just by being an example of faith in Amida Buddha is enough, you see. And if you want, of course, to become a lay teacher and a monk, that is also good, you see, if you want, but it's optional. I don't know if maybe Yosho Sensei wants to add something to this.
I would like to quote from Hawkeye's notes, something she wrote on this topic. She said, quote, "My only hope is the ship of Amida's vow, not just for my own salvation, but as a person that aspires to be present, helpful, and caring when it matters for my loved ones and all those near. There is no deeper anguish or grief than not being able to help the ones we love. The foundation of my spiritual journey has from the start been an aspiration for all-encompassing compassion. I was unable to find it in any other religion or spirituality. There were always too many strings attached, too many hoops to jump through, too many words to remember, too many mountains to climb, and most of all, too many promises and vows which I systematically broke. I lacked determination, endurance, and a heap of other virtues for sure, but I also couldn't accept that certain categories of beings were systematically left out or expelled. This all changed when I encountered Amida Buddha, where at last I found the true manifestation of all-encompassing compassion. At last a path opened up for dummies like me. And she also says at the end of this article, knowing that through the Nembutsu of faith, Amida's power will cast away my limitations, enabling me to come back to this world and help those I love, is a great source of comfort to me. Yeah. Yes, very good. It's also one of the reasons I entrust to Amida Buddha, because I know that not only I save myself, I am saved myself by Amida Buddha, but I will also be able to go to and find and help and guide all my relatives, all the people I love, in whatever form of existence they are reborn. That's wonderful. It's wonderful that I can meet with my grandfather again and help him. You know, the only thing I have from my grandfather is a watch, an old watch that I'm now trying to restore. So because I remember him wearing that old watch, but that's all I can do now. I can do offerings in his name. But later, when I will become a Buddha, I will go to the Pure Land and immediately then go after my grandfather and my father and my many other people that I love. It's wonderful. It's a great source of comfort to me, as Hawkeye said. Yes, that's the only path that brings comfort to me. Otherwise, I would have no peace, knowing that I can't help my father or my grandfather, that I can never fix the wrong things that I did to them, for example. Yes. Yeah. Namo Amida Butsu.